Hello friends, today we will explore together the terrifying moments of nature, the anger of Mother Earth that humans can hardly imagine. From devastating storms, earthquakes that shake entire areas, to floods that sweep away everything in its path. Be prepared to witness the uncontrollable power of nature, and don't forget that we need to respect and protect this planet. Let's start our journey of discovery now. Lippich, Germany, which just witnessed a terrible hailstorm hail as big as walnuts fell, damaging roofs and windows, making the whole area feel like it was hit. These stones are like bullets from the sky, causing power outages and making travel extremely difficult. Traffic was congested, like a crowded but uninvited party. The hailstorm turned this house into a gingerbread house covered with sugar and snow. Look, white ice cubes like giant mint candies spread across the roof and every corner. The streets are like mini glaciers, filled with small marbles that sparkle like crystals. Let's forget about the recent hailstorm. Let's head to Japan, where a terrible storm hit this city. The storm was like an invisible monster, roaring through every street, blowing away roofs and vehicles like autumn leaves. The furious winds, like sharp claws, were wreaking endless havoc. The tornado was like a monster from hell, roaring madly and swallowing everything in its path. Roofs were torn off and floated like fragile leaves in a storm, creating an unprecedented scene of devastation, a vivid testament to the irresistible destructive power of nature. A huge tornado is headed straight for a small village on the outskirts of the city. With raging whirlpools like a legendary monster, its destructive power is threatening the peaceful lives of the people here. The small houses are like leaves in the middle of a storm, ready to be destroyed, swept away at any time. We come to a beach in America. A terrible tornado is gradually forming, bringing with it the destructive power of nature. The panic-stricken swimmers ran away, looking for a safe shelter. The tornado was like a giant monster, aggressively moving towards coastal houses. A sudden windstorm struck, and the tourists' tents suddenly seemed to fly into the sky. This is truly an unforgettable experience. Image of a giant pile of ice like an outdoor refrigerator in the middle of summer. This scene is impressive not only for its strangeness, but also especially for the devastation the hail caused. It feels like a frozen land in the middle of the sunny season. A beautiful sunny day on the beach takes an unexpected turn when rocks fall from the sky like rain. The previous tourists suddenly had to turn into cyber athletes, asking for protection from raincoats, towels, and even folded umbrellas. A giant tornado suddenly formed on the sea, like a magical universe landing on Earth. I couldn't believe my eyes as that bizarre scene moved quickly from the sea to the mainland, turning the bustling beach into a mess. The beachgoers hurriedly rushed to escape. The jets of water rushed up, washing away everything, even the container on the shore. This was certainly an unforgettable afternoon, when nature once again showed off its unselfish power. Oh, I just want to say, when that tornado passed, I felt like I was watching a dramatic production of Mother Nature. The houses seemed lost in a parallel universe, cut down to every small detail. But fortunately, no one was injured. An ordinary afternoon turns into a space conference when a giant cloud shaped like a spaceship blocks the sky. Underfoot, wind power poles rotate rapidly as if wanting to communicate with the universe. The flash flood in India is terrible. When it rushed past the power station, I can only describe it as a natural dance of smashing everything. It feels like you're watching a masterpiece of Mother Nature's action. The image of a waterfall pouring into a giant hole like an endless natural dance is like a natural masterpiece. The flood that formed, with streams of muddy water rushing downstream, was a monument to the power of nature that made people feel small amid the chaos and destruction. Witnesses faced confusion and fear. A terrible storm has hit Japan, a country famous for its preparedness and ability to withstand natural disasters, but was struck down by an accidental force of nature. Looking at images of car roofs and sports fields being swept away, the raindrops were like cold stones hitting the highway, turning the scene outside into a gloomy, foggy picture. Visibility narrowed, the car lights ahead dimmed. Under the gloomy and heavy sky, the lake became a large stage for a dramatic natural play. Raindrops poured down on the lake surface. Thunder rumbled like war drums. Lightning flashed like rays of hope in the dark night. A hurricane with heavy rain and winds up to 100 km/h is passing through. The winds were like sharp blades, whistling through every door, knocking down trees like matchsticks. Brazil, where the flood turned the entire city into a vast sea of water. The houses, once the homes of many families, now only have their roofs peeking above the water. The roads disappeared, leaving only the rushing water. Houston in May faced the wrath of nature. A fierce storm swept through the city, bringing heavy rain and howling winds. A horrifying and majestic scene appeared before our eyes when familiar roads turned into ferocious rivers. Trees were uprooted and collapsed. After the terrible storm, the glass panels of the high-rise building were shattered, like fragments of a beautiful dream being shattered. Trees around here were uprooted and lying down. The heavy rain poured down, heavy drops of water forming a powerful waterfall flowing down the road. An unforgettable image of a pigeon standing on the wing of a departing plane. Between the roar of the engine and the strong vibrations, the bird seemed unfazed. A giant tornado, like a monster from hell, was rolling across the field. The swirling, fierce vortex seemed to want to swallow everything on its way. The wind whistled like nature's scream. Ignoring the recent tornado, we come to the sea. Recent sea storms have caused ships to struggle fiercely with giant waves. Boats sway like tiny leaves in the middle of a river during flood season. Sometimes I even imagine they are performing a ballet at sea. At the harbor today, the ship was like a boxer in the ring, being beaten by the ocean waves and swaying vigorously. When it tried to dock, a wave suddenly came, throwing the ship far away, causing everyone standing on the shore to feel heart-stopped. We are in Japan. The flash flood swept up the mud like a giant monster, roaring and tearing up everything in its path. Houses, cars, trees, all become this monster's chaotic party. The places where this mud monster passed were deserted, as if a fierce battle had just occurred. The car suddenly crashed into a store, causing the wall to completely collapse. Fortunately, no one was injured. The hailstorm suddenly appeared like a fury of nature. White stones like giant marbles fell into the lake. The roads were quickly covered with pure white clothes like in a fairy tale. It's like nature is playing the world's biggest pinball game. The flood was like a giant monster that had descended from the sky, sweeping away everything in its path, including pitiful cars. Those cars were like small paper boats in the anger of the sea, rolling and spinning. A steel frame weighing a ton just fell from a building onto a busy road. Luckily, no one was injured in this incident. Can you imagine? That giant steel frame fell without anyone being harmed. It was truly a miracle. A powerful tornado was destroying the house before my eyes, like a giant washing machine spinning everything into chaos. Walls collapsed, roofs flew everywhere like gift-wrapping paper torn apart in excitement. I have to say that, despite the tense situation, we cannot help but admit that Mother Nature has an extremely impressive way of performing. When the brave climber was sliding down the abyss, he quickly used his hammer to stop the sliding force. The hammer was truly the savior of today, like a miracle in everyday life. Huge blue icebergs crashed into the ocean with a roar like thunder. Never seen a scene as majestic and terrifying as this. And those are the scary and majestic moments of nature that we just witnessed. These disasters remind us of the fragility of life and the importance of protecting our environment. Let's work together to reduce our negative impact on the planet, so our children and grandchildren can live in a safer and more sustainable world. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next interesting videos. See you again in the following videos.